Hi, welcome back to Heart of Health. We're talking today with Jim Ayer. He's been all over the world and actually seen healthcare delivery from a little bit different perspective. Jim, a lot of our viewers are travelers and they go all over the world, and some might go to Africa or from foreign country. And I was just wondering, from your experience, if I was, let's say I'm over in the Serengeti or somewhere, and I come down with a terrible, let's say I have a heart attack or an infection or something terrible, what would be the first steps that would happen that you would think in healthcare? Would I be able to get an ambulance to come get me? And how would I get to get help? And is help nearby?
No, help is not typically nearby. Let's say it might be better if you had the heart attack rather than an accident, because if you had a bad accident, by the time they threw you into the ambulance as a sack of potatoes, because they probably don't know how to stabilize you or do any of that, you may be dead by the time you got to the hospital anyway.
So there are ambulances and abilities to take you places.
Yeah, and depends on the country too. Some countries are definitely much better than others. You know, in certain areas, matter of fact, I was doing evangelism in India, and one of our team, after the series, went up to Delhi, and he had a heart attack. They were able to stabilize him and get him in a good enough situation that he was able to fly home with the doctor. We always carry a med insurance that allows us to fly home all paid and everything else, so we do kind of have that to give us a double protection. But you know, these hospitals, they're not, I tell you, United States is a wonderful place to be sick if you've got to be sick.
Right. So they don't have like a 911 system.
No.
So that doesn't exist there.
No,
so
not to my knowledge.
So let's say you get to the hospital alive, okay, and you're still functioning there. Would you be? Was it like our system? Would you go to the emergency room? Would someone, you know, the doctor see you? And you know, how does that, you know?
Well, let me give you another example. All of us at the general conference, in other words, our church headquarters, all of us as travelers, and most of us travel a great deal, they issue us syringes and things, clean syringes to take with us. So if we need a shot any place, we take out one of our syringes to make certain it's a clean syringe.
Oh.
So that'll give you a little more idea of what.
And I guess you would take your medicines with you. There's not drugstores there where you can get prescriptions refilled?
There are sometimes. Matter of fact, some of the places, prescriptions are very cheap, and you can buy almost everything over the counter if you knew what you needed. So prescription-wise, it's probably okay. But in the hospitals and things, clean syringes and cleanliness is not necessarily there.
Now, what about communications? I mean, when you're treated with the healthcare provider there, how do they communicate? Because for me as a doctor, the history is so important in knowing what's happened. Do they have translators, or how do they really know when a foreigner's sick, you know, what's going on?
Unless you happen to have your own translator with you, no, you'd be out of luck typically in certain areas, and again, in certain countries, you'd be able to carry on a conversation, a limited conversation, but in most, no conversation probably.
And in some of the parts, I guess this varies to where, you know, do they have the, you know, the CAT scans, the MRIs, all this technology that we have here, or do you have to travel to that, or?
Again, certain countries will have those things, especially like Central America. There are certain areas, Costa Rica, for instance. They've got a healthcare system that's probably just about as good as ours. Matter of fact, many people from the United States are going down there to get some of their health care.
Well, same with India. We hear people that, you know, it's cost a lot here. They go to India and get their plastic surgery, the dental work done, and they come back over here.
But again, that would be in select areas.
Right.
That wouldn't be in every area. One hospital I was in, they had, I think it was like 40 or 50 leprosy patients each day, and tuberculosis is a huge thing.
Wow.
Some of the areas, you know, even some of the planes I get on sometimes, it sounds like you're in a TB ward.
Yeah, because I as a physician have never seen leprosy. We rarely see tuberculosis.
I've taken medical teams to certain countries, will treat many patients, sometimes thousands of patients, and the doctors from the United States get so excited because they'll come to me and say, Jim, I haven't seen this except in medical textbooks. They get so thrilled to find all these different things that they've only read about and never seen in person.
Wow. Now, if our listeners and viewers were traveling over the country, what were some basic advice you would give someone to help in case they might get a medical problem?
Well, first of all, maybe back up just a little. The first thing you want to do is talk with your physician and make certain you have all of your shots.
Okay.
There's a lot of different things you can do for preventative measures before you go. And when you go, I'm maybe a little more particular, but never ever drink the water. That also means on on wherever you are, never any ice in your drink. That also means never any of the salads. Never eat a salad any place. Never eat from shops and the markets, this type of thing. Because there are things out there that will absolutely kill you. And
well, do they have things like blood transfusions and if you in need of blood or something like that?
Again, depending on the area, yes. But the cleanliness in certain areas, it just is lacking greatly.
Wow, that's just amazing. So I hope that whenever you travel abroad, especially to countries that don't have the medical services, that you don't know what to expect. So you have to that's a big preparation and getting ready just to go on a trip.
Yeah. It's really nice when we actually. I enjoy in the past when I've taken medical teams because you've got a whole entourage of doctors with you.
Yeah.
But when we get into some of these countries, we're there, and the people, they're so hungering for medical help that we've had them wait out in the rain an entire day to just get in to see the doctor. Entire day, they'll stand in pouring down rain all day long into the early evening. And sometimes it breaks our hearts because we just don't have any more time, or we're out of meds or whatever. And so it tears you up to see these people, and you have to eventually turn some of them away.
Well, in our next segment, I want you to tell us about someone that you've seen really brought back from a bad situation or brought back from death. Thank you for staying with us, and we're going to be right back and hear more stories from around the world after this brief message. I'm Dr. James Marcum, and I talk to patients every day who want to know the truth in healthcare. On our website, heartwiseministries.org, you can have your questions answered. You can read my blog where I talk about interesting and controversial subjects in medicine. You might choose to go to the radio or television sections and learn more about all sorts of health topics. Take the time and go to heartwiseministries.org.
You can easily spend $90 on an expensive meal out. How about investing $89.94 in your future? Just think about the possibility of coming off those prescription pills and getting rid of all the side effects. Think about feeling better than you have ever felt in your life. This is all possible for you. For only $89.94, you will receive a 7-part DVD series, Weight Management by the Book, a 30-lesson workbook with over 100 recipes, and if ordered today, exercise tubes will be included for free to help with your journey. There are many programs available, but this unique program has identified the truth about how to manage weight. This program is not available in stores. This limited offer will not last long. Pick up the phone now and dial 877-504-9628. Operators are standing by. This call will change your life forever.
Two words for you. Pop quiz. Ready? Name any funny movie. A drama. Name a mystery. And one more thing. Name the movie your kids saw today in science class.
Know what really matters. Know about your kid's school. And know about your kid. Find out 100 ways to know more, do more.
Hi, I'm Dr. James Marcum with your Daily Heartbeat. I have a saying I like to say, and it's this: it's at the heart of healing is love. Now, what would that mean, and what would that have to be with healing? But did you know that love is a way that we can change our body's chemistry? There's been studies done that show people that have animals, which could include a dog or a cat, if they have them, they actually have less heart attacks, less stroke, less infectious diseases, and even less malignancy. Well, do you think it's anything about these animals yelping and barking and meowing that changes the chemistry? No, it's not. It's the love that's shown between owner and manual. Likewise, we know that people that are happily married, if one of the spouse should suddenly die or get sick, that there's a greater likelihood of the other spouse developing a disease. So at the heart of healing is love, and love is one of the most valuable treatments we have to stay healthy. Welcome back to Heart of Health. We're talking today about Jim Eyre. Jim, I'd like you to share with us some miraculous story you've seen about something acute and healing happening, someone just brought back to life.
Well, there's a couple situations in India, and matter of fact, I had a doctor, his name was Jim.
Okay.
Also, we were in a faraway village, a very primitive village in India. And all of a sudden, one day, a runner came and grabbed us and said, "Dr. Jim needs you, Dr. Jim." We went up there, and we get to the doctor, and he's got this bouncing baby in his arms. And we say, "Well, Jim, what's going on? What did you need us for?" He said, "Just a few minutes ago," he said, "the mother brought this baby to me, laid the baby in my arms." He said, "The baby was virtually lifeless." And he said, "I began praying. I sent the runner to you, and I began praying." He said, "And here's the result. Here's the result. And this baby is just happy and giggly." And in the same time, a meeting a few days later had a lady bring up a child whose eyes were rolled back in his head, totally lifeless. And Jim took the child over the side, and everybody began yelling and crying and
Now
wailing.
you were at this meeting.
Oh yeah, I was at
Okay.
this meeting, and I actually stopped the meeting because it broke up the whole meeting virtually.
So you were speaking?
I was speaking.
Okay.
I began praying and said, "Let's pray. Let's talk to the God in heaven." Begin praying, and I'd look over at Jim, and still thumbs down, and I'd pray and look over at Jim, thumbs down, and finally, all of a sudden, thumbs up. Thank God for answered prayer, and this child was okay. And later, after the meetings, I asked Jim, I said, "Was that child dead?" He said, "Jim," he says, "all I know," he said, "the child had no pulse."
Wow. You know, in our world, you know, we see healing like this, but it's usually through technology. You know, a heart's not going fast or going slow. We put in a pacemaker or shock a heart, but that must have, how did the meeting end?
Well, it went throughout this big city about what this God did. I mean, this is in a Hindu area. Went everywhere, and our meetings grew and grew and grew. So it really glorified God.
Wow, that is an amazing story, Jim. You know, and nowadays, you know, we see what's happening with our health care, and you know, when we have to wait a little longer, the emergency room visits a little longer than we should. Some of us get a little distorted, or we get a bill that we can't explain. Or I have some people say that, you know, they don't hear enough from their doctor, they don't tell them about. I guess the people there that would stand in line all day, that just wouldn't be much of a problem.
Oh, not at all. Just to get a visit in the rain.
Wow. Well, you know, what we wanted to do is let people know that around the world there's different types of healing, and that we still have healing out there that God miraculously does that can work through things. But we also want the people to think about along their ways, if they're traveling, that they might want to be careful because some of these countries don't have everything they might need. And just to really be thankful. Listen, I want to thank you so much for joining us on Heart of Health. Tell me, where is the next big trip you're going to be taking?
Well, you know, at the moment, I really don't know exactly where it's going to be. I know we're looking at kind of a plethora of locations, but I'm not sure yet.
Okay, well, we're expecting to hear more stories from you when you
Sounds
get
good.
back from that trip. Friends, I hope this was interesting for you today. It certainly was for me, and I want to thank you very much for joining us on At the Heart of Health. And please tune in every week, and we're going to be talking about healing with healers and how God can change us, and also the place for modern medicine. Thank you for joining us.